Hello, Zoe here from Thorncrest Farm. I'm going to talk about bucks and urinary calculi, particularly here in with the cold weather coming. Whew, it's kind of chilly today. So we have Moon, he's here, and that's Ronan. So they're just having a little snack while I do this video. And this is our feeder. So just a couple of tips to prevent urinary calculi. Number one, I feel, and Smith and Sherman talks about that, is this in their book Goat Medicine, is fresh clean water is extremely important to preventing urinary calculi. Why? Because you need the bucks to drink an adequate amount of water, the water that they actually need to function. And of course, as you know, bucks like to be stinky and pee on themselves and just be generally get kind of messy on their face. And so when they take a sip of water, it's going to make their water bucket a little bit dirty. So we always ensure they have water 24 hours a day, but we always make sure it's cleaned twice a day. So they have fresh, clean water twice a day. And particularly in this cold weather, we're going to give them warm water because they're more likely to drink the proper amount of water or an adequate amount of water to help prevent urinary calculi. Cold water, they may not drink as much, so they'll become a little bit dehydrated, which really predisposes them to urinary calculi. The other thing that we're going to do is make sure that they have salt. I always give them a fresh bit of salt every day. This is mixed with a little bit of kelp, but they have nice, fresh, clean salt, so it doesn't get all gross and dirty, with their face and all the licking and everything. So they have nice, fresh salt, so they'll be more prone to take the proper intake of salt if it's nice and clean and not icky. The other thing too, which is a big factor, is making sure the calcium to phosphorus ratio is correct. And that's approximately 2 to 1. It's a little bit lower, I think it's 1.7, but 2 to 1 is a good number to remember. And that's, you want twice as much calcium to phosphorus for that ratio to be correct. If you get a lot lower, say you're having 1 to 1, 1 part calcium to 1 part phosphorus in the diet, then the buck can be quite prone to urinary calculi. And this can happen if you're feeding hay that has a very low calcium to phosphorus ratio, and you're feeding grain as well, which has some grain can be quite high. Say if you're feeding barley or oats or anything like that, it can be quite have an incorrect calcium to phosphorus ratio. So you want to make sure that the diet that the bucks are eating has approximately 2 to 1 calcium to phosphorus in their diet, and that includes the forage and their grain. And those are basically a few tips that will help prevent urinary calculi. So to recap, clean fresh water at least twice a day, and in this cold weather, warm. Their diet, you want to make sure that they have lots of forage and make sure that their diet is around 2 to 1 calcium to phosphorus ratio. And make sure that they have clean fresh salt every day, and that will also help ensure that they get drink the proper amount of water and that they don't get dehydrated. All right, have fun with your bucks.